Barest downest Chicagoeth Bareth is just, I don't know how you say it, but it sounds all Shakespearean if you say it the right way. I didn't say it the right way, but we're working on it. I'll get better at it as I go. However, let's talk about news. We got Caleb Williams news. We've got Brian Urlacher hanging out with President Donald Trump. And you might be asking yourself, what's going on with that? Why is that happening? What's the why are they tight like zippers on a Michael Jackson Beat It jacket? Well, there's actually a reason for that that happened before. Matt Eberflus finally talks about why DeAndre Swift came in. There's a report of some real different vibes going on in Hallis Hall right now. Pro Football Focus has graded every offensive player for the Chicago Bears going in, and we're going to talk about all that and more. So if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, the bell to be notified of future content. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what type of content you are looking for. I had a couple people who talk about, well, hey, why look, the way that Twitter works, clickbait. So every once in a while, you're going to see something stupid out of me, like the Tyson Bagent, stuff like that. You never know, right? So let's talk about what we do know, and that is happy birthday, Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze turning 12, I want to say. I mean, this guy is a monster, right? So shout out to Rome Odunze. It is his birthday today, so if you haven't already, stop by Twitter or X and wish him a happy birthday, or Instagram or wherever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, Caleb Williams working overtime to get ready for the NFL style offense. That's the report of the day. Chicago Bears will only go so far as Caleb Williams takes them. The team reportedly is busy putting together a plan for the rookie signal caller ahead of the 2024 campaign. The Bears are working overtime to get him used to taking the ball under center, shotgun, play action, and all the nuances of the NFL style offense, says ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. I'm told he's really taken to that. It was long assumed, well before the 24 draft, that the Bears would he would be the number one pick and that the Bears would most probably be the one that takes him. I've spoken with his personal quarterback coach, Will Hewlett, who got him ready for the draft, who says since early April he's been working on the Bears scheme, cadence, and footwork, and that he knows that's going to protect him long term. He's also using his arm strength to try to see what he can get away with at OTAs, resulting in the occasional inaccurate pass to interception. That's okay, trying to work out the kinks until September. From Chicago's perspective, whether Williams lives up to expectations or not will determine the fate of the franchise for the next 4 years. Everything in the front office has worked towards in recent seasons for the offensive side, while trading for DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Kyle Kmet, signing DeAndre Swift, bolstering the offensive line, relies on Williams being the long-awaited answer at quarterback to see whether or not he is. The weapons are in place for a serious playoff run if he is successful, especially since a defense that looked strong down the stretch returned most of its key pieces. However, the same quarterback issues that have haunted the Bears throughout its team's history will be louder than ever if Caleb Williams does not live up to the hype. This is the only team in the NFL without a 4,000-yard passer in NFL history, and poor quarterback play has been the reason why largely. So hopefully Caleb Williams getting his brain right, if you will, getting himself ready for what could be or should stand to be a fantastic season, provided that he is as good as advertised. And I certainly hope that he is. Also, Hall of Fame linebacker Brian Urlacher posted this picture on Instagram today in support of former President Donald Trump. Now, of course, as with anything Trump related, there's either a backlash or a wild show of support. And generally speaking, you never know. I mean, we're 50-50 divided. 34% of the United States approves of Donald Trump, 54% disapproves of Donald Trump. There's a middle ground in there. Those are a lot of voters. So I don't know how you feel about him, but Brian Urlacher, a big time fan. Now you might be asking yourself, well, how did Brian Urlacher end up playing golf with, being a friend of, being a fan of Donald Trump? Well, the reason for that, and the reason that this is a thing, and by the way, Urlacher's comment was, doesn't matter how many fake charges they find him guilty of, he still got my vote. Trump 2024. Now, why is that? Well, If you guys remember, Casey Urlacher, you might not know much about Casey Urlacher, but that is Brian Urlacher's brother. Casey Urlacher is a criminal, and Casey Urlacher was being investigated for illegal offshore gambling operations, and that he had tracked down gambling debts while helping run an illegal gambling operation. The indictment was going to land him in a federal prison. He wasn't at the top of the pyramid, but he was very much important, it seems, as the operation of the enterprise as charged in the indictment. There's a lot of money trading hands. It is in some ways an old-time gambling operation, but using the internet. Donald Trump pardoned him before he went to prison for Brian Urlacher's support. Therefore, Brian Urlacher is vested in his interest to be supportive of Donald Trump. Donald Trump forgave his felon brother for being a criminal, and when you do that, I mean, you get support. You get support from people. So if you're wondering why Brian Urlacher is hanging out with Donald Trump, it's because Brian Urlacher's felon of a brother was pardoned by Donald Trump before he went to prison. You know, one hand washes the other. That's how it works. So anyway, let's move on. There's a drastic shift in Hallis Hall, allegedly. For the better part of the past decade, the Chicago Bears have looked like an organization struggling to find its identity. After the dismissal in 2013 of Lovie Smith, the crisis began. Mark Trestman, John Fox, Matt Nagy, all of them came through here. Nobody really established an identity for the Chicago Bears. When Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles arrived, one of the first things they made clear was their vision for the organization. It was based on the HITS principle. Every player was expected to hustle with intensity, prevent turnovers, and be smart situated. Some people rolled their eyes at the idea, but Eberflus believed it in his approach. The key was finding players who would buy in. After three seasons of work, the Bears seemed to have built that exact roster. So signs of the progress began popping up in the second half of last season, like I told you guys that they would. You know, we didn't have a good start to the season, going 0-4, then 1-4, but we finished the season 6-6 after that period. Not great, but as you got down the stretch, it was 5-3. And if not for a couple of rough fourth quarter collapses, they would have gone 8-4 during that stretch, and we would have been a 9-8 team at that point. Since the end of the season, they've added a lot of new faces, a lot of new offensive weapons, and brought in Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. Now, usually this time of year, the word that I'm hearing that comes out of Hallis Hall is optimism. But what's coming out this year is confidence. Hey, Bleeves, are you sleeping with Joe Biden? I don't know. Ask your mother. Eberflus and Poles knew it would take a few years after tearing everything down before it would get fixed. Now, going into 2024, this resembles everything that they wanted to build. It isn't about wanting to win anymore. The Chicago Bears are now expecting to win in Hallis Hall. They got a taste of it last season when they stomped on the eventual NFC North champion Detroit Lions. If they can do that to a team that eventually played in the NFC Championship, there's no reason to fear anybody in the NFL. And this is something that I've been saying to you guys since the beginning, is they own Detroit. The fact that they fell apart after a 26-14 lead meant that there was really, look, the defense collapsed and the offense gave them nothing when it mattered. You're in the fourth quarter, you got 3 possessions, you have 4 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock. All you have to do is run out the clock. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is just burn time, and they can't even physically come back from that. And the Bears proceeded to go 3 and out, did nothing whatsoever to help that process. So very bad moment for the Chicago Bears, losing, I want to say it was 29-26. But 3 weeks later, we came back after a bye week and another game, and then annihilated the Detroit Lions 28-13. That was more of a testament to what the Bears were doing. So when you can match up that favorably with one of those teams that went deep into the playoffs, that were right there on the cusp of winning the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl, when you can take one of those type of teams to task in the way that they did, and let's face it, he didn't get the thing. He didn't, they didn't win the first game, but they were strongly competitive and dominant for most of that game. Will they slip up and will they collapse in the fourth quarter again? Maybe. You never know. But the point is, the offense should be greatly improved. Now, if Caleb Williams can improve on what Justin Fields was doing and be better than Justin Fields was, then this is a much more adept team at making things happen. Now, a lot of people blame Luke Getzey. A lot of people blame Justin Fields. They both share some of the blame. Matt Eberflus shares some of the blame. The offense, a little bit of the blame. I mean, it has to go around. Defense as well. I mean, you don't just give up a bunch of points like that unless you just kind of checked out of it, mentally. So, and the Bears, I assure you, a lot of the conversation was that was the worst moment of their season because they knew that they had this game and then they just let it slip out of their hands. Now, will they continue to do that? I don't think so. I think that this is a much better team, and now we're starting to look at a team that's developed itself into something much better than what we saw before. Are they a playoff contender? Yes. Will they make the playoffs? I'd like to think that they will. Can they go deep in the playoffs? I don't really think that I don't really think so. I think that it's early. I don't think we have enough playoff experience. It would be nice to see just getting in there. I think is going to be an accomplishment in itself. And then from there, can we build on the momentum? I mean, maybe it happens. Maybe something crazy, really kind of manifests itself. But I really think that I think again, 13-4. I'm going to stick with that. I think the Bears are going to go 13-4. I don't think they're going to get deep in the playoffs because then we'll start to show the cracks of not being ready for it. And then the next year, then I think that we're a little bit better. Now, most of the assets from the team are still going to be here. So we're not going to be in a worse position. At worst, I think we would lose Keenan Allen in the final year of his contract, but that's and there's not too much out there that isn't locked up for a good period of time. So and this will be a defensive draft coming up. So a lot of pieces that are not there are going to be there at the next part. So shout out to the Chicago Bears and the drastic shift in Hallis Hall. So you know what? I'll be honest with you. That's why Donald Trump's got my vote. If you guys don't know, I'm a big crypto guy, and Donald Trump supports crypto. Joe Biden just vetoed SAB 121, which was a pro crypto bill. So he does not have my support. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't think Donald Trump is a scumbag. You know what I mean? I don't have to like the guy. I don't have to like anybody to still vote for him because I think that their policy is going to be better for me. That doesn't mean that I like them as a person of character. I disagree fundamentally on anointing somebody, especially if you're Christian, that's cheating on his wife while cheating on his pregnant wife while she's sitting at home with some. None of that resonates with me. But that doesn't mean that I can't vote for the person. Doesn't mean that I won't be supportive because they support something that I am passionate about. So he's got my support until he doesn't have my support, but he's still an idiot. So, and if you don't like that, you are too. So, Matt Eberflus has finally revealed why the Bears wanted DeAndre Swift so bad. Now, you guys know that this kind of came through. It's sort of, we didn't really know what was going on. And all of a sudden, we've got this announcement immediately that they signed DeAndre Swift. Well, why was DeAndre Swift so important? Almost every decision the Chicago Bears made through the 2024 offseason made sense. Drafting Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze was obvious. So was trading for Keenan Allen and extending Jalen Johnson. But there was one move that some people were looking at, was like, what is this move and why? And that was DeAndre Swift. It was a departure for Ryan Poles. Until then, he'd played it relatively cheap at the position with one-year deals and late-round picks. While nobody disputed Swift was a talented player, they couldn't understand the urgency of signing him. And then Matt Eberflus finally had a conversation and provided some clarity. By the way, before we go, keep going. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button on your way in. It helps push me up in the algorithm, and that continues to trend the video for the day. And leave a comment down below letting me know if you support the channel. While the Bears have had a solid success running with the ball for the past 2 years, they felt the overall unit was too one-dimensional. David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, and Deonta Foreman were pure runners, not legitimate threats in the passing game. Eberflus felt Swift offered that extra dimension, just a weapon back, according to Matt Eberflus. We really needed that guy that can really operate on third down and even on first and second down and be a weapon in the deep part of the field and the short part of the field and take it the distance, and he's got a lot of gas. DeAndre's looked really good during the offseason. Obviously, as you guys know, he's really quick. He's a weapon out of the backfield, which is outstanding for our passing game, and it's going to create some mismatches for us. He can do a lot of things from the backfield. We can split him out wide and run the full route tree. He's very exciting to watch. He has 195 catches for 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns over the last 4 seasons. That's averaging almost 50 catches per year and 350 yards. That's a pretty good. I mean, this guy coming out of the backfield, that's exactly what the Chicago Bears could use as we convert away from the hard nose. And look, this is going to be an adaptation period for a lot of us. The one thing that, and I'll tell you this, I love this. When I see the Chicago Bears mow somebody down, when I see Khalil Herbert run over somebody or Roschon Johnson bounce into somebody, knock them down, and continue on, that's when I get excited about the Chicago Bears. That's when I start pumping my fist. I'm like, fuck yeah. Make something happen. Like, show somebody, lay the wood, if you will. Well, this is going to be a little bit different. We're still going to be able to run. We're probably still going to be a pretty tough run team. If you're the number one rushing offense, then you're going to continue to be a decent rushing team into the next year. However, Roschon Johnson, as a rookie, was the best receiver that we had coming out of the backfield. Deonta Foreman and Khalil Herbert, neither of them were that weapon. And in fact, when it comes down to grading backs in their ability to defend passes, DeAndre Swift was rated much higher than anybody currently on our roster, other than Roschon Johnson, who is still, again, a rookie. So, what I'm looking to see is a little bit of increased more options in the passing game, and those bigger options in the passing game are probably going to lead to a better. um, I think the rushing offense is going to be much improved for this year because the passing option is now a better option. So I don't think that the Bears are going to be the number one rushing team, by the way, because I don't think that we're leaning that way. We talked about the inside zone that's going to happen, but I do think they'll still be a top 5 rushing team and still be better. I don't think they're going to be worse. I think they're going to be better because we're going to be able to play the ball downfield a little bit better than we were in the past. So, all the pieces are now lining up. And if we just polish this thing up the right way, then it's going to be fantastic. But here's the thing. Alvin Kamara is one of the best receiving backs in the NFL. Last season, he caught 18 passes on third and fourth down. He converted 8 of them into first down. Swift caught 13 passes on third down in 2022 for Detroit. He converted 4 into first downs and 2 into touchdowns. People constantly underestimate how valuable a capable receiving back is to an offense. Bears fans should understand this the most because they saw what Matt Forte did for years during his run with the franchise. And let me just point out, guys, if you ever just look in now, first of all, my guy when it comes to running backs, obviously it's Barry Sanders. I mean, for you, if you're older, you might, you might look at some of these other guys. Connor Williams, no. Emmanuel Agba, yes. I would be definitely into Emmanuel Agba. Connor Williams, I don't think. Look, I don't think that he provides enough upside momentum for the Chicago Bears above Ryan Bates and or subbing out with Coleman Shelton to the point that he's worth the type of money that it would take to bring him in with the amount that we still have left to play with. Because you can't bring in 2 people like that at this point. You have to bring in one or the other without making some drastic cuts. So, you know what I mean? Well, they don't throw to Herbert because he can't catch the ball. He had 23 receptions, but in much more limited opportunities, Roshan Johnson had 39 receptions. So when they have the opportunity to throw to somebody who can catch the ball, a matter of fact, Khalil Herbert's drop rate was high. So well, again, it's not about him. It's not. First of all, it's not about whether or not he can play guard or anything like that. It's a matter of finances. It's going to cost you every bit of $8 million to take on Connor, which means that you would have to give up, say, Demarcus Walker. Well, then who are you going to have at the end? If the answer is you're going to bring in Emmanuel Ogba and you're just going to let Austin Booker, or you're going to try. I mean, you can't. There's only so many options that you have, and I would love to see that we had enough on our roster to be able to do. We have enough finances to make all of those moves, because those would both Connor Williams to me and Emmanuel Ogba would be upgrades to this Bears team. However, it's finding the capital to fit them in, and we just don't have it without giving up something, because there's no money left. You would have to give up. Look, the people that you can give up, the people that you can give up that would have some capital that would allow you to make a move. Khalil Herbert, but he's cheap. He's like $1 million. Khalil Herbert is, if you were to trade Khalil Herbert, who is valuable to any team, that doesn't really help you because you only free up $1 million. Larry Borum is about $3 million, but as a backup, $3 million for your backup, that's not really that bad. So even if I don't like Larry Borum, I understand why he's still on the roster. And then again, Demarcus Walker, this was the number one rushing defense last year. Why would you get rid of the number one rushing defense, even if you might consider that Demarcus Walker did not have the best of moves and was not great at rushing the passer in the passing game? We have to be, honestly, that was the case. Andrew Billings, however, continues to improve, and hopefully Gervon Dexter makes that big leap. There's a lot of hope there, but I mean, where do you free up payroll? If you look at the Bears' payroll, there's a lot of big money up at the top, and then it just goes down pretty quickly. Velus Jones, not you can't. Nate Davis, who do you replace Nate Davis with? Or who becomes the backup to the person that replaces Nate Davis? I mean, if you're going to say Coleman Shelton, fine, but who's backing him up? I mean, you have to have depth on your line, and you can't just free up some payroll with somebody like a Nate Davis. And then, but again, I mean, you could do. We'll see what happens, and we'll see who's available. The other thing is, what if Nate Davis is way better? What if he's made the step up that we think that he was going to do from last season to this season? If so, then we're just cutting out somebody who's capable and adept and just as good. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Connor Williams a good player, but I mean, come on, he's coming off of ACL. We don't know how long it's going to be until he's ready to go. He's not signed for a reason. So I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Um, I don't see it yet. Again, it's just about the money for me. So anyway, Matt Eberflus thinks that DeAndre Swift is kind of like our man Matt Forte, and that's what he feels um, going to make this team a lot better. And you know what? Fair enough. Um, and to be fair here, I mean, you could do that. But you don't know that Connor Williams is that much of a step up from Nate Davis. And let's see, based on the amount that it would cost to make that move, we can look at, we can certainly take a moment and just kind of look and see, like, what does it free up and what does the team look like if we can make that move? So in the event that we're able to make that move, we got Nate Davis here at an $11 million contract. Now the question would be, what would it cost to sign Connor Williams? And of course, Connor Williams doesn't show up because why would he? Free agents. Here we go. We got all types. We got We want the people who are available. All right, so people that are still available, they can be drawn on. Well, it's taking longer than I thought. God damn. And look, the reason that I say this is because it was going to cost us the same amount of money to bring in Connor Williams as it was going to cost to have Nate Davis, and that doesn't seem like that doesn't to make just a flip from one to the other. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, um, I mean, if you find somebody who wants to do it, cool. But I don't think that it works. I don't think that's it just I get the sense here that this team is already set on that. And not that they're going to be great. They're going to be really good. I'm going to say that the team's going to be really good on the offensive line, no matter what. Now let's talk about the grades of all the players on offense coming into the 2024 season. Now, PFF, Pro Football Focus, has a rating system from 1 to 100, and they've rated everybody on the Chicago Bears offense coming into this year. Caleb Williams grades out at 90.3. DeAndre Swift grades out at 66.5. DJ Moore, 89.3. Keenan Allen, 86.3. Roma Dunzi, 89.8. Could you imagine? Those are two rookies coming in with these grades. Cole Kmet, 73.7. Braxton Jones, 68.8. Tevin Jenkins, 72.6. Coleman Shelton, 66.1. Nate Davis, 52.9. Darnell Wright, 62.4. So there you have it. That's what they're looking at. And by the way, by this logic of the Pro Football Focus grades, then you could make an argument that if you could pick up Connor Williams for Nate Davis, maybe that's an opportunity. But I think that Nate Davis is set. I think that the team likes Nate Davis. They like what they see. They think that he's going to continue to improve, and he puts in hard work. And I think that moving to Connor Williams probably doesn't solve the problem that we would like to see solved. Again, Nate Davis' mother passed away, and that affected him. You know what I mean? So, and lost my support here with your Trump. It's okay. If listen, if who I vote for politically is a bridge too far, and that messes with your sports, you're the one that's deranged. It's not me. I'm still voting for Donald Trump. I'm still voting for him because I'm pro crypto, and crypto is where I have my living. So if you're that far into the woods, I don't give a shit anyway. So good luck. That's wild, by the way. Remember, that's wild. If you only want your reaffirmed opinions and you want to be reinforced in your random, if the election were stolen bullshit, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's get into Twitter X, because we got a lot of stuff over here for today, and that starts with Sweat is back, 98 days not to be outdone. This is the countdown that they're having, by the way. Tomorrow's gonna be 97, and then Gervon Dexter can't wait to show the world what's going on. And then you have DeAndre Swift. If you are interested and you are looking for it, then please go to Chicago Bears Twitter account, and you can watch these live press conferences that were had. It's not live right now, but DeAndre Swift was speaking with the press after practice on Friday. Same thing with Tremaine Edmonds. Get an idea of what these guys are thinking. And then also Matt Eberflus as well was out here having that conversation. And then, by the way, here is number 97, who's going to be the guy for tomorrow. It's going to be Andrew Billings. And just real quick with this, just sheds a blocker and stops the run. This is why the Bears were so tough on the run last year, was because of people like Andrew Billings, people like DeMarcus Walker, people like Justin Jones, not here, but hopefully Gervon Dexter is going to be an ample replacement at that point. This is a team that is ready for a big time run. This is a team that's ready to really control that line of scrimmage. Hopefully, hopefully we can see something fantastic happen. So that's it. That's the time, guys. Hope you guys have a good day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, like you just said, this is not about like, I don't give a shit who you vote for. Here's the thing. If you vote for Joe Biden, if you vote for Donald Trump, I don't care. It doesn't have anything to do with my sports team. And if you watching a sports channel gets messed up because you find out that somebody supports somebody that you don't like, you're the one with the issues, not that person. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. And if you're drinking some Kool-Aid out there and think everybody else is the one drinking the Kool-Aid, yeah, we're all drinking Kool-Aid somewhere. So remember, guys, have a good day, bear down, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.